So we left off talking about the Doors, and I was trying to tie it in with the good history of the American country, and I was saying how we listed off all those the big significant rock acts, and the only ones that were really from America. And I quickly, as I paused the video, I looked up another act, and I can't believe I even forgot him, but I often do, and that's Creedence Clearwater. Now, Clearwater was definitely significant, but I do have a sneaking suspicion that people overseas and internationally speaking might not be as into them as we here in the States are. I mean, you go anywhere in the States and you're bound to hear them on the classic rock radio. Everybody knows those couple songs, Have You Seen the Rain? They had to Run Through the Jungle, which is that's one of my favorite songs ever. The picture it paints of the Vietnam conflict is like absolutely incredible, and I seriously think that there has never been. I say this about many songs, but honestly, like there are some songs that I just return to time and time again, and then there are some songs that I just forget. For instance, like "Sympathy for the Devil," to go off topic, like that is just a song that you return to. You know what I'm saying? There's certain songs you carry with you through the years. It was kind of like that last J Cash thing. When he get hurt. Like, that's everyone just started carrying it with them. It's beautiful when that happens. And Run Through the Jungle by Creedence, man, that is like, I don't think too many, like when I referenced the Candle in the Wind song by Elton John. Now, that was a great song about Marilyn Monroe and the perils of being like, that beauty queen thing. And Marilyn was, Norma Jean, it was like she was sad and all that. He's going into, what I'm saying, and then with Run Through the Jungle, though, we get this song. Really, I don't think another better song has been written about the brutalities of war than Run Through the Jungle. I mean, every time it's like, wow, that song, man, is incredible. So brutal. The harmonica in it is just like, it's crazy. I can see like the helicopters like flying over. I mean, that song's wild, man. But all right, so Creedence Clearwater was another big American rock act. I don't want to go off topic, forgive me. But Creedence Clearwater. So we really only have Canned Heat. I mean, seriously honorable, because then the other ones, you might say, well, like Skynyrd and stuff, but Skynyrd actually is a 70s rock band. They're in the 70s. We're talking about the 60s, and that's when rock was truly, like, as rock as we know it today, in a way, was really... This is like Rock 2.0, and that took place in the 1960s. And most of it was really happening in England, which I find to be almost embarrassing looking back as an American. I do find it almost to be a little embarrassing. But we do have some great mentions, and those mentions are CCR, Creedence Clearwater, The Doors, and then Canned Heat. Now, I think the most significant of these three, seeing that they are a significant, I suppose it's so lame, but, T-shirt band, is Morrison with The Doors, and The Doors are definitely still very well known. I think they're definitely more well known at an international level than Creedence, as I said. And The Doors, well, guys, wow, you see America in The Doors, and they give us something that none of those English bands gave us. I'm sorry, English folks, but, years ago, here in the States, we're separated from y'all, and that's just what happened. And, we you took the friggin' blues from us for a little bit, but the Doors took it, and they made something wholly American with it. But also, they did something really weird. Like, one looks back at that time, and they say, well, why didn't the Doors just go and be country artists, No, instead they didn't. They did not take the easy route. Instead, they did something so bizarre, so strange. I mean, really, I can't ever stop talking about the Doors. They seriously were so crazy. And you just see America in those songs. You see it. It's living and breathing. Like they are America to me, because he's talking about the desert. He talks about Native Americans, Indians scattered on dawn's highway bleeding, ghosts crowd the young child's fragile eggshell mind. Morrison puts out a book of poetry. What does he call it? He titles it An American Prayer, the name of the nation right there. He was an American poet. He was an American artist, man. And uh, when at a time really when very few others, and the other thing is that's so interesting is that he was truly connected with like that old school chapter of the states that nobody remembers now except the country artists. Like as great as some of like mention more recent artists, the problem I have a lot of time with the most recent artists is that I feel there was a chain in the music that we released, and I feel that chain has been broken, and that we no longer recall. We're not carrying anything over anymore. It was like somewhere along the way, and I do think that happened in the 80s, and I'll get into that at some other point if I continue with these talk videos. I'll try to discuss what I think happened, my personal interpretation of what happened in the 80s in terms of music. But with Morrison, where you see the most interesting thing, I mean, again, it's living, breathing Americana, those songs. Again, he's mentioning the natives, and some of the songs are like very tribal. My Wild Love, there's a song, My Wild Love went riding, she rode all the day, she rode out to Texas, to light on the ground. I don't know how it goes exactly, but it's like tribal, very native American stuff. And Jim had that myth, the tragedy that he said he saw when he was a young boy. He saw an Indian, a caravan or something of Indians, natives were because at that time, another thing that we forget now as Americans is that, and this is off the music a little bit, but nowadays there's this conception, and like I believed it myself until I started researching it, but and there's this conception that there's like, and I have the native ring. I mean, I really got into natives later on, and there's this conception that there's no more Native Americans, that like they all just like vanished, like back in like the 1800s or something. And they're still around. They're still around, but I think that they were a lot more visible, especially like to those of us, like I'm in the north. I'm situated in the Northeast in an industrial city, so like we don't generally think of like a Native American. Like I've never, on the street or something. I don't know, but or like at the grocery store. And Dave Chappelle did that like really like kind of like derogatory joke. I thought it was kind of derogatory. I mean, it was a joke, I guess. But anyways, he saw you would saw them, I guess. So he was traveling through the country back then, and with his father or something, and he sees this Native American. He's 6 years old, Jim supposedly, and he sees this Native American who crashed a caravan on the side of the road, and he swears that the native passed on from this life into the next life, and Jim swore that the spirit of the native jumped into him, and that's deep, man. That's really deep. Like he thought that the natives were in him. And that to me is, even if you don't want to look at that, I mean, I do, I like to believe in things that the eye can't see. But I mean, life's a mystery, guys. So, but Jim really believed it was in him. And even if you wanted to look at that symbolically, I think that was him saying, like America had washed over him. He was one with the land, because the natives are the true bread of this land, I suppose we could say, like the salt of the earth, kind of, like they were here and everything. I mean, that's a tough topic, actually. That it's another tricky one, kind of like the blues artists and everything. It can be a little like Chuck Berry and the racism. It's a little tricky. It's like solemn. It's really, the music is pure fun and silliness, but those things are deep. So you got to be careful with that. But I was playing some Canned Heat, yeah. But so yeah, that's what I will pick up again with another, probably a whole new video.